Hello and welcome. This section of videos is going to be titled Walking with Jesus. And what brought this about is um, I had different people coming up and sharing their testimonies with me. Or I'll come across someone and they start sharing their testimony of what has happened in their life. And they may necessarily reference Jesus, but they will say God healed them of something or other, or set them free for something, or they won't even acknowledge that. They'll say that they'll tell me what happened to them, and they'll say that there's no other explanation other than God had to have been the one to do this because doctors couldn't have, or they did absolutely nothing except cry out to God, and next thing they are having a miracle take place, but they don't recognize it as a miracle. The meowing you hear in the background is Bagheera. He likes to come and be part of the videos. So say hello, Bagheera. Say hello to yourself. Okay. He'll sit here for a little bit, stare at himself for a little bit, and then he'll be off. So I knew that in this time, or in this season, which a season is just a period of time, it's not necessarily a season like the weather. It's just a period of time, and it can last weeks, it can last months, or it even can last years. So in this season, I need to record these testimonies because I had a conversation with my younger daughter, Jax, probably a couple of months ago, and I told her, I said, I don't know why. I said, but I'm understanding that it's time to get to know Jesus. I said, and I don't know what that looks like. I said, I know the Holy Spirit. He's my partner and has been my partner for about 4 years now. When I became a hospice chaplain, that's when I started being trained by the Holy Spirit. And so now it's time for me to get to know Jesus. I know a little bit about Jesus. I'm talking on a personal basis. And I know a little bit about God. I know his word. But as far as on an intimate level, I can honestly say that I know the Holy Spirit a lot more than what I know God or Jesus. And so in this season, walking with Jesus, it's going to be testimony. And what better way than to get to know him through hearing it one-on-one from people. So the first one that I'm going to share is called Maria's Angel. Now, this testimony comes from a patient of mine that shared with me this testimony, and she was reluctant to share because she was afraid that I wouldn't believe her. She was afraid because to her, it just sounded so far-fetched. How could this possibly happen? But I reassured her that anything is possible with God. Anything and everything is possible with God. And he wants to be part of everything we do, everything in our lives that we do. He wants to be invited. Jesus wants to be invited. Holy Spirit wants to be invited. So her story is that she was walking to the car. Her and her husband were going to take a friend to the doctor, and it had been raining. There was water that had collected. The driveway was cement, and she said she was wearing tennis shoes, and so she's walking to the car. Her husband's already in the car waiting for her when she slipped. And when she slipped, she didn't feel the fall. Instead, she felt like two hands, one on the back of her neck and the other one like where her legs were. And these hands felt like they caught her and gently laid her down. And she was so surprised by this because she was waiting for the impact of the fall, but she never fell. When things happen spiritual wise, we don't have words to describe it sometimes. And this was that time. She is laying there, and her husband gets out of the car immediately and runs over to her, and he's asking her if she's okay, and he's trying to help her up. And she tells him, she says, "Let me move one leg at a time. Let me move slow and let me get up." So she moves one leg, then she moves the other, and then he helps her up slowly. And he asks her again, "Are you okay?" And she says, "Yes, I'm okay." And she still doesn't tell him what happened. So she decides that she's going to stay home. And when she goes walking back toward the house, that's when she realizes that her coat is all wet, she's soaking wet, and it hits her. How is this possible? Because I know I slipped. And then she just starts thanking God because she knows that God saved her. She doesn't know. Her fear is that she would have hit the concrete and hit her head and caused a lot more damage, which in this case, there was no damage. So as she's there at the house, her husband goes on to go take the friend to the doctor, and she's just trying to process this, and she's just trying to understand. And so she just started thanking God and just telling him, "Thank you for not letting me hit the concrete. Thank you for taking care of me." She said, "Only an angel could have done this." She says, "There's no other way." So I was grateful that she shared that testimony with me because it encourages me that in our times of need, God is always present. God has his angels watching out for us. And a lot of times we don't realize how, because we think about just what we're going through. We think about how we feel in the moment. We think about what we lack. We think about what we're asking God to do. And we want things done a certain way because that's our limited understanding of things. But when we hear testimonies of what God has done, what Jesus has done, how he has had his angels work in our lives, all throughout the Bible, angels are in the Bible. And there's so many different things that they do for us. And so I just pray that this is encouraging to someone. If you have testimonies that you would like to share to encourage others, reach out to me. I can be reached at Embrace New Life Ministries at AOL.com, or you can comment here on this video. I will check the comments and get in touch with you. So I pray that this has been a blessing to you. I pray that it encourages you, and that share your testimonies with others. Don't be afraid of what someone's going to say. It doesn't matter what someone says. Share what God has done in your life. Share how he has delivered you, how he has saved you, how he has loved you, how his grace has been poured out over your life, his mercy, his compassion. Encourage one another. There's so much negative stuff going on in the world, and not enough giving praise, glory, and honor to God. There's so much more giving praise to the devil, giving praise to the enemy, talking about how we fear all kinds of different things. And we seem to put more focus on that than what we do on the goodness of God. So I just pray that the Lord continues to bless you, and that He gives you courage and He gives you boldness to share what He has done in your life with others. Many blessings to you.